In 1995, President Bill Clinton remarked at the dedication of the Thomas J. Dodd Archives and Research Center, "The road to tyranny, we must never forget, begins with the destruction of the truth." Kinda ironic coming from him, but there we have it. But what is the truth? A new breed of Republicans emerged in the mid-80s and early 90s who adjusted their sense of fair play to a winner-takes-all attitude no matter what. That includes bullying, cheating, stealing, slandering, ignoring the rules of law or the democratic system, and most of all lying, just flat-out lying to the American people. As the title of the 2018 article in The Atlantic by Mackay Coppins succinctly puts it, "The man who broke politics, Newt Gingrich, turned partisan battles into blood sport, wrecked Congress and paved the way for Trump's rise." Coppins describes Gingrich's contention that for their party to succeed, the next generation of Republicans would have to learn to raise hell to stop being so nice, to realize that politics was, above all, a cutthroat war for power, and to start acting like it. Newt's strategy was to demolish the bipartisan coalitions that were fundamental to legislating and then use the resulting dysfunction to wage a populist crusade against the institution of Congress itself. Bravo, Mr. Gingrich. You have succeeded in devolving American consciousness into the Neanderthal swamp creatures you and your ilk have always been. Gingrich kicked off the trend to gain maximum media attention by baiting Democratic leaders with all manner of epithets and insults, pro-communist, un-American, tyrannical, not only to provoke the Democrats but also to scare the moderate Republicans. And the circus ringmasters of cable television were happy to put on a show, recklessly disregarding the consequences of their lucrative carnival acts. The number one fact about the news media is they love fights, Gingrich recounted. When you give them confrontations, you get attention. When you get attention, you can educate. Would that be educate or obfuscate? Folks like the Newt and others like Karl Rove, Roger Ailes and Chris Jankowski, the guy behind the Republican Red Map gerrymandering scheme, became the tools of the new Republicans, supported by a relatively small sect, about 1%, including the Koch brothers, the Mercers, the Mellon family, the Heritage Foundation, John M. Olin, the DeVos, and the Coors family. This cabal of uber-wealthy elites has been financing the well-crafted messaging to divert attention away from the shenanigans of Wall Street fat cats and propagate the idea that the United States is divided into two groups: the hard-working, industrious elite and the lazy masses who leech off their labor through government handouts and entitlement programs. Like a slow poison, the anti-government, anti-liberal message began to contaminate the minds and hearts of people who were already becoming disillusioned by the dismantling of the American dream. Even though Charles Koch stated in his latest book, Believe in People Bottom-Up Solutions for a Top-Down World, 2020, that he regrets dividing the country. Sorry, Charlie. Now that you've opened this Pandora's box, you can't wash America's blood off your hands by simply making some half-assed mea culpa while continuing to throw money at your right-winged Frankenstein monsters. The top-down world, as you put it, is the world that you and your coterie of wealthy elites created. The older generation was brought up on the fantasy that every US citizen has an equal opportunity to achieve success and prosperity if they work hard and follow the rules. Of course, the American dream of small family businesses and independent entrepreneurs is being sucked into the corporate vacuum along with the middle class, creating a modern-day feudalism. But most Americans fight for this distorted form of capitalism because they are being duped. And when that hard work at the factory or in the coal mine goes away, either because technological advances or globalization made it obsolete, what happens? The people get pushed aside, leaving many Americans feeling abandoned. Originally, it was industrialists who were the real power in the American economy, men and women who actually made things. America made a dramatic shift in the 1980s when we started to transform ourselves from a manufacturing economy to a financial economy. That's when Wall Street turned America upside down. They call it financialization, where, instead of making products, they made transactions. Financial products like credit default swaps and collateralized debt obligations. A new generation of corporate owners began to rear its ugly head in America, and the old established companies that actually cared about the integrity of their products and their employees either sold out for big profits or were forced to close. This was the beginning of the fall of our working class. Companies like Bain Capital and the Carlyle Group made fortunes by borrowing vast sums of money. This strategy, known as leveraged buyout, involves putting a small percentage down and borrowing the rest. The trick? They don't pay it back. The acquired company is responsible for the debt. They force it into dividend recapitalization, cashing in shares to pay investors. This burdens the company, often leading to layoffs and outsourcing. These vulture capitalists pile up debt and drive companies out of business. Workers are irrelevant in this scam. Like a praying mantis, they devour the company after using it. Oh, but here is the best part. When the company pays the monthly debt service, that service is deductible. Those deductions are your government handouts. Talk about corporate welfare. And to add insult to injury, because it's an investment and not considered income, these leveraged buyout kings don't pay income tax. They pay capital gains tax at 15%, and with all the tax loopholes, they end up paying less than 14%, or like Jeff Bezos, none at all, while lazy moochers like the working class are strapped with the tax burden. Joe the plumber is programmed to believe that regulations are killing our economy, and Republicans lick their chops every time another public safety net is deregulated on Wall Street. Okay, so people are pissed. The middle class is pissed because, well, they don't exist anymore, and they have been told that government regulations have destroyed their job opportunities while taxing them into poverty to pay for lazy brown and black moochers. The brown and black people are pissed because they don't have job opportunities and can't climb out of poverty and are getting indiscriminately killed by police because they are brown and black too. So there's that. While the haves are getting richer and more powerful than ever and bearing less and less of the tax burden, all of us have-nots are ripping each other's hair out. MAGA are not the cause, they are the effect. Trump is the creation of the long calculated, slow movement by this veiled monarchy to have complete power and dominance over the markets, the wealth and the people. First by relentless and methodical brainwashing, then dividing and conquering. If we the people ever got together in true e pluribus unum, we could take our country back. But that would mean more than just posting clever memes on social media. It would require us to actually engage, but they couldn't have that now, could they? Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like and subscribe. See you next time.